Hi, everyone. Welcome. While we still have some people joining, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started, as my part is never the most exciting part of the webinar, and I want to make sure we have enough time to really address the discussion section of today, where you'll get to hear from some wonderful panelists who are experts in their area. So welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sarah Neville Morgan, and I'm the Deputy Superintendent of Public Instruction for the Opportunities for All branch, OFAB, at the California Department of Education under the leadership of State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurmond. We're so happy to have you all join us today for our April edition of CDE's pre-kindergarten through third grade P-3 webinar series. Today, we will begin by exploring how districts and early childhood programs can begin supporting inclusion from preschool through third grade. And we will end with a conversation with several district leaders about how they've built inclusive practices into their work to ensure children with disabilities are served in the least restrictive environment. We had over 1,100 participants register for today's event from across the state that include teachers, preschools and Head Start centers, county offices of education, districts, nonprofit organizations, foundations, and state agencies. Thank you. Thank you all for being here for this critical and equity-focused conversation. In addition to myself, we are excited to be joined today by others from CDE leadership, Heather Kelomise, Director of our Special Education Division, and Sheila Self, an Education Administrator in our Early Education Division. Next slide. And there are the photos of the people I just named. Next slide. Decades of research show that developmental gaps between at-promise young children and their peers begin early and grow through preschool and become achievement gaps in elementary and secondary school unless other learning opportunities such as quality preschool intervene to identify and address special needs, dual language learners, and disrupt racial biases and inequities. California's historic budget investments, grounded in research that Heather will soon share, provide a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to address these issues and transform our educational system. Through bold leadership and unprecedented investments, the Budget Act of 2021 included historic new and expanded investments in education, including universal education investments in pre-K and universal meals, and nearly universal in the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. We also have our community schools, our teacher prep, dual immersion programs, and special education supports throughout all of these areas that you see before you on the graphic. I want to emphasize the enormous, truly historic opportunities in front of California that are coupled with our persistent challenges and how we will need your support to take advantage of these opportunities and create the educational system California's students and families need in 2020 and beyond. Not the system from 1950 or 1970 or even 2019. Our educational landscape will forever be transformed to better meet students and families' needs. Think of it. California is now poised to realize universal pre-K for all 4-year-olds. I've been working on UPK since 2003 when First 5 California and some other First 5 county commissions launched first Preschool for All and then the Power of Preschool. And our moment is finally here. Implementation of UPK, along with all the other items I brought up just a few minutes ago, all of these together present an opportunity to strengthen education through an integrated and intentional district plan that addresses all of these new areas in a way that capitalizes on the connections and builds them together. It is through this integrated nature that we can provide whole child supports and better prepare California students for an international playing field of college and career preparedness. We are particularly excited about the opportunity to leverage these investments to build a coherent preschool to third grade system through a collaborative leadership process to ensure that California's working families have the supports they need to go to work while their children engage in high quality instruction and expanded services that address the whole child. And to do all of this in an inclusive way while implementing best practices for supporting students with disabilities. Success in the face of this tremendous opportunity will require all of us to engage with and support the combined efforts of interest holders and education partners from across a wide range of sectors, settings, and geographies to realize the potential of these historic investments. We look forward to working with each of you to realize the vision of this budget and the pending 2022-23 budget, which holds even more opportunity for our little ones with disabilities. And to support districts, schools, and community-based organizations as they work to provide the highest quality educational opportunities to every student, starting with our preschoolers. You can and you must be part of the power behind making a difference. I would now like to introduce Heather Calamise, our Director of our Special Education Division at the California Department of Education. Heather?
Thank you, Sarah, and good afternoon. I want to start us off today by providing just a little background on what inclusion means and why it matters. Next slide. First, let's start off by making sure we are all grounded in the language of legislation governing the state's and individual school districts' obligation and expectations related to the education of children with disabilities. Then we'll move on to talk about how California is doing in meeting those expectations. And then finally, why the implementation of universal pre-K presents an opportunity for improvement across the state. Just briefly wanted to talk about the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA as we call it. In 1975, Congress enacted the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, otherwise known as Public Law 94-142, to help states and local educational agencies in protecting the rights and meeting the individual needs and improving the results for infants, toddlers, children, and youth with disabilities and their families. That landmark law's name was changed to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, or IDEA as we call it, which was in 1990 reauthorized. The last authorization was in 2004, with the Department of the U.S. Department of Education issuing periodic revised regulations to address the implementation and the interpretation of IDEA. And really the fundamental role of the IDEA is to ensure a free, appropriate public education to eligible infants, toddlers, children, and youth with disability, and to ensure that special education and related services are provided to those children. In Part C of IDEA, also known as early intervention, is really a system of services and support to infants and toddlers with disabilities or developmental delays. Early intervention services under Part C of IDEA can help children learn new skills, whether they've been identified with a motor or movement delay or already have an eligible disability diagnosis. Depending on a child's needs, early intervention services might include family training, counseling, home visits, occupational, physical, or speech therapy, health, nutrition, social work, transportation, etc. Once a child is determined to be eligible for Part C services, an Individual Family Service Plan, or IFSP, is developed by a team that includes parents and all the providers who work with the child and the family. The IFSP describes the child's present level of development, the family strengths and needs, and the specific services to be provided to the child and family, and a plan to transition to a public school. Part B is for children and youth ages 3 to 21 who receive special education and related services. And Part B ensures that school-age children with the eligible disabilities are provided a free, appropriate public education, or FAPE, throughout the public school system. Key services that are covered under IDEA include the provision of special education, the provision of related service providers, and the supplementary aids and services such as use of adaptive equipment or special communication systems. To be served under Part B of IDEA, a child with a disability must meet specific categorical disability criteria, and the child must require education, special education, and related services as a result of their disability in order to access and benefit from public education. An IEP is developed by an IEP team composed of school personnel and the child's parents and guardian. And an IEP is similar to an IFSP, but is focused on the child's individual goals needed to facilitate access to and make progress toward grade level content standards rather than the family's goal. Next slide. Fundamental to IDEA is the right of students with disabilities to a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. And you can see here the federal language that I just sort of spoke of very generally, but here it's specifically cited for you as well. And IDEA requires that the IEP team determine the least restrictive environment, or LRE, in addition to the appropriate supports and services across a continuum of placement and service delivery options for all students with disabilities who are eligible. Under Part B and C of IDEA, students are provided necessary supports and services in a general education setting with maximum access to typically developing peers, and are only segregated into separate settings after all other options have been exhausted. Our state performance plan and annual performance reports that CDE submits to OSEP every year collects the data for indicators 5 and 6 in order to monitor LRE and the continuum of educational placements for students with disabilities. And as a reminder, indicator 5 is a results indicator that measures the percentage of time spent in general education classroom for K-12 students. And similarly, indicator 6 is a results indicator that measures the percentage of time spent in regular education setting for preschool age students. Next slide. Historical data from the State Performance Plan for Special Education indicates that children with disabilities in California are less likely to be receiving services in a regular setting than their peers nationally. And likewise, children are more likely to be receiving services in a separate setting. And when we compare California's overall LRE trends, we see that California's young children with disabilities are less likely to be receiving services in a regular preschool setting than their peers nationally, and instead are receiving those services in a separate setting. And as you can see here, the overall inclusion rates are getting worse for children with disabilities in pre-K. And in California, we want to flip these indicators. And so beginning in 2017 school year, California has seen that dramatic decrease in the percentage of preschool students with disabilities in the regular preschool setting. The concerning decline has been exacerbated by COVID-19 and new measurement changes released by OSEP, or the Office of Special Education Programs, which removes 5-year-old kindergartners from this indicator calculation. And so really what happens in turn is that the removal of the 5-year-olds in kindergarten has given CDE a more accurate picture of preschool LRE. And so that we see with the removal of 5-year-olds in kindergarten, indicator 6A has further decreased to roughly 29%. Next slide. And yet the research shows us that inclusive classrooms far outweigh the benefits of segregating children with and without disabilities. For children with disabilities, inclusive settings offer more opportunity for interaction with peers. And for children without disabilities, inclusive settings generate more positive attitudes towards children with disabilities. When compared to children in special education classrooms, children who spend more time in inclusive settings tend to make more gains in literacy and language skills, and their typically developing peers tend to demonstrate increased emotional knowledge compared to children who do not have peers in their classroom with disabilities. What we know from research, however, that merely putting children in inclusive classrooms is not sufficient alone, and that specific practices in those inclusive settings matter. And we'll touch on this a little bit later. But we do know that practices like more time in small group, less time in whole group is more beneficial, and that those practices should be individually tailored to align with the child's specific IEP or IFSP. And furthermore, if we don't create opportunities for further peer collaboration and language exchanges, children with disabilities make similar gains as if they were in a segregated setting. Next slide. In California, we have about 1 million 3- and 4-year-old children across the state. As Deputy Superintendent of the Opportunities for All branch, Sarah Neville Morgan oversees the state-funded programs that serve some of these children. And yet the gaps between the number of children eligible for these programs and the number of children actually served are significant. And we know that early learning has the potential has the potential to impart significant benefits to these children and their families. Last year, California's governor began a rollout of universal pre-K with the goal of ensuring every 4-year-old has access to a high-quality learning experience the year before kindergarten. As we look at the opportunity provided via universal pre-kindergarten, it creates a possibility to address a more unmet need and shift other areas to refocus in underserved ages, such as 3-year-olds, and serve more of our children with disabilities in inclusive universal pre-K settings, embedding practices that can take root and be implemented throughout the early and elementary years. California's low rates of enrollment in general education for children with disabilities from age 3 to grade 3 has significant impacts on children's outcomes as well. It's imperative that California double down on its efforts to ensure that enrollment in a general education classroom is the first consideration as appropriate for the offer of the free and appropriate public education. And for California students with an IEP, the research projects that a 10% increase in the time spent in general education was associated with the roughly 13.3% increase in academic growth. So again, what we're seeing here is that providing a preschool special education services in an inclusive setting does benefit students both with and without disabilities. Next slide. In looking at the goals of inclusion, and specifically the sort of graphic you see in front of you here, is that here at CDE, what we really want to illustrate is that LRE, or least restrictive environment, serves as a foundation of our theory of action for the overall improvement of outcomes for our students with disabilities. A strong foundation in LRE ensures that students with disabilities are 1, placed in the right educational environment, 2, given the appropriate services and supports to meet their needs, and 3, are provided high quality instruction utilizing best practices for inclusion. And so with these increased opportunities for inclusive placements beginning in preschool and extending through 3rd grade, we can expect to see increased learning through achievement and a positive impact on school culture, and also a direct impact on our graduation and post-school achievement outcomes for our students with disabilities. Next slide. And we can go to the next slide. We'll cover the budget next. And so it is a landmark year, as Sarah mentioned earlier, for special education, but the legislature is also prioritizing recommendations from the SB 75 Transition C to B work group and report to support the infrastructure at the state and local level with seamless transition from children from one system to the other. For the CDE, to support the transition for our LEA SOL low incidence programs for the 2022-2023 budget proposes $849,000 in ongoing funds for state level support and resources to assist with the transition efforts and technical assistance. There are also joint agency efforts with the proposed budget that includes the following projects: IDEA transition specialists, promoting inclusion and providing resources and access for 3 and 4-year-olds receiving regional center services to general education environments, and really an overall deeper interagency collaboration and planning between both the California Department of Education and the Department of and DDS with monitoring, joint training, and child find activities. Next slide. And finally, the governor's 2022-2023 proposed budget also includes new support serving children with disabilities in California state preschool programs. The proposed budget, as you can see here, invests $309 million to increase California state preschool program adjustment factors to better support students with disabilities. And then these funds will in turn support the new requirements for state preschool providers to, 1, serve at least 10% of students with disabilities, and 2, provide additional support services for dual language learners. Additionally, the governor's proposed budget includes a large proposal for inclusion. And we're so happy about this because we know how important inclusive settings are for children. Under that budget proposal, what we see is children with an individual education program or IEP will be categorically eligible for the California State Preschool Program. And there would be a requirement for CSPP to serve, again, as I stated before, at least 10% of the children with an IEP. And then the budget proposes $500 million of one-time Prop 98 general funds to support the Inclusive Early Education Expansion Program, or EAP, as we call it, which funds infrastructure necessary to support general education and special education students in inclusive classrooms. And finally, there's a $2 million one-time general funds to incorporate early identification for learning disabilities into the state's preschool assessment tools, including a process for follow-up by expert evaluators. And now I would like to hand it over to Sheila and introduce Sheila Self, Education Administrator in our Early Education Division. Sheila?
Thank you so much, Heather, for providing that wonderful overview. Thank you so much. So good afternoon, everyone. I want to start the conversation about best practices to support inclusion by sharing an inspiration video that starts to articulate the question we all have, which is how. So next slide, play the video.
Hi, my name is Shelley Moore, and I'm a third-year PhD student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. As Canadians, we have a reputation for finding and embracing the strength in our diversity. This value, however, hasn't been reflected in our classrooms, which still segregate students by ability, especially students with developmental disabilities. There's a gap in our understanding about what we know inclusive education to be, philosophically, versus what we understand and the importance of understanding inclusion in our practice. This is the question I'm trying to answer in my research, is how can we find the value in the day-to-day practice in our classrooms in terms of inclusive education? So how am I going to explain this to you? Now I can sit here and try and describe this, or we can have a little bit more fun. Why don't we go bowling? So let's talk about bowling. You have 10 pins, you have 2 balls, and you have a lane. The goal is to knock down as many pins as you can. But if you don't get them all, it's okay because you have another chance. But when I bowl and roll the ball down the middle and I don't knock them all down, what often ends up happening to me is that there's 2 pins left standing on either end and they stare at you. It's the 7-10 split and it's the hardest shot in bowling. How is bowling like teaching? The ball was the lesson, the pins are the kids. We aim for the middle, we do the best we can. The pins that are left standing, we often have another chance to kind of get to them, but at the end of the day, those 2 pins that are staring, looking at you, are kids who need the most support and are kids who need the most challenge. So we end up choosing one, and the other one is left standing. I just took all the fun out of bowling. Now, I don't know how many times you've watched professional bowling, but I spent an afternoon watching professional bowling, and let me tell you, there was not one bowler who rolled that ball down the middle of the lane. They throw the ball down the lane at a curve. And I was actually really curious about this, so I called up a professional bowler. He was so excited. I don't think he gets a lot of calls about education. He said the reason why the ball has to enter at a curve is because you will knock down more pins and create a bigger domino effect if you enter at that angle. But in order to do that, you have to change your aim. In order to knock down the most pins with one shot, he aims for the pins that are the hardest to hit. Now let's just let this sink in for a second. We are taught to teach the head pins. We are not taught to teach to the kids who are the furthest and the hardest to get to. The kids with autism, the kids with Down syndrome. The part that's critical here, and it really aligns with Universal Design for Learning, is that so often the supports that we design for those kids on the outside of the lane are actually supports that all of the kids need. This is the part we need to understand if inclusive education is going to move forward in Canada. How can we find this value of diversity in our classrooms between the students? This is not just important for the outside pins, but it's critical for every single one of us. And just think, all we need to do is change our aim. Look how bowling changed education.
Next slide. So I just find that to be a really creative way to share information on inclusion and kind of gives us a new way to think about it. So as we focus on serving an increased number of children in early education in the P3 space, the number one question we're asked is how? Not about the why, which indicates that values and beliefs about what children with disabilities or different abilities, that's significantly changed over time. With this budget cycle, there are numerous bills that have elevated the needs of children with disabilities and their families in order to access universal preschool programs. Legislators are aligning their proposals with the Master Plan for Early Learning and Care and the Blue Ribbon Commission recommendations to ensure that all children have equal access to a high-quality early education program. The key elements to create inclusive classrooms are access, participation, and a sense of belonging. So let's break these down a little bit and dig in a little bit further. In terms of access, the first piece we'd want to consider is designing learning environments that are accessible to all children, including outdoor areas and playgrounds. Creating an environment that is ready for children with disabilities, including an emphasis on teacher-child interactions that are warm and nurturing. We also want to think about displaying materials that reflect children with differences in books, activities, and instructional material. Children will have questions if they see a child who does things differently, and so just providing a simple explanation usually suffices, or you can certainly discuss with the parent how they would like to have their son or daughter introduced and addressed in that class. We also want to provide adequate space for children to use physical support, such as walkers or wheelchairs, so that children can access all areas of the classroom. Providing a variety of seating. If a child can't sit on the floor or needs some separation in order to maintain their focus, then think about providing alternate seating choices. And also consider areas such as hand washing and toileting accommodations. Secondly, participation. Adapt when necessary instructional materials such as books, puzzles, scaffolding instruction, or adapting instruction that provide full participation. Determine if the child would benefit from some form of assistive technology, or review the child's IEP or IFSP to see what the team has determined to be necessary for the child to participate in instruction, promote communication, or use methods so the child can communicate their needs. Things like visual cues, picture boards, or technology need to be employed as necessary. Also, activities designed for groups or pairs of children can help by providing peer models. Membership and a sense of belonging. Enrollment of children with disabilities is an essential element to increasing opportunities and changing the trajectory for children with disabilities over time. As Dr. Phil Strain says from the University of Denver, it's all day, every day is the gold standard. So helping children to make friends, learn social norms, the rules, how to read social cues from others. Children with disabilities may become adults with disabilities, so we want to ensure the sense of belonging is strongly supported from the start. Next slide. So we have talked about the 3 areas of inclusion: access, participation, and sense of belonging. So a little bit deeper dive, let's look at some key elements to promote inclusion, like incorporating child-focused activities, using the child's preferences and strengths, providing instruction that builds on the child's current abilities and targets, the next step in the instructional sequence, utilizing formative assessment to inform the progress that children are making and to set new goals, supporting interactions with peers so the classroom is welcoming to all. Also, ongoing targeted professional development is essential. As we redouble our efforts to increase opportunities for children with disabilities, job-embedded, practice-based coaching occurring over time has a significant positive benefit to teachers in gaining skills to serve children with disabilities. And finally, promoting family engagement, which recognizes that parents are the child's first teacher and honors the family support provided over the child's lifespan. Context, culture, and frequent collaboration opportunities with the child's family yield huge benefits toward positive child outcomes. Next slide. To learn more about the how, let's look at 6 examples of best practices which have been well researched, implemented with fidelity, and are sustainable once fully implemented. The programs may sound like they're best implemented through special education, and they are. But these program efforts continue, and what we've learned is that the techniques that I'm about to describe can apply to all classrooms. So to begin with, supporting inclusive practices, which co-led by Riverside and El Dorado County Office of Education, who are with us today. They provide resources and materials that are free and open sourced. SIP, Supporting Inclusive Practices, engages with programs that may need more information and support to know how to start implementing an inclusive classroom program, how to plan for the changes needed over time, and who needs to be involved to implement those changes. SIP provides trainings and resources about all things inclusion, such as Universal Design for Learning, podcasts, recorded webinars. They have a social media presence and preschool to grade 3 resources. The SIP project works with LEAs to increase the number of children enrolled in a least restrictive environment, which is a state performance indicator that Heather mentioned previously. It's also been in operation since 2015 and has successfully demonstrated that LEAs participating in a 5-year cohort model demonstrate increases with their LRE targets. Additionally, the SIP project was awarded additional funding during this last budget cycle to develop a preschool resource hub focused on supporting preschool enrollment in the least restrictive environment for children with disabilities. The SIP Preschool Resource Hub can be accessed on the SIP's project webpage. Next, embedded instruction is led by the Napa County Office of Education Desired Results Access Project, which supports statewide lead coaches, local coaches, training for teachers, and data collection. Embedded instruction is provided through, as I mentioned, job-embedded practice-based coaching. Both general and special education teachers are trained together so sufficient support is provided in settings such as Head Start, state preschools, and private preschools. Embedded instruction involves providing multiple brief teaching interactions between a teacher and child during everyday classroom routines, activities, and transitions. By identifying functional behavioral targets within the child's context for learning and selecting classroom activities best suited to embed in daily routines, child progress can occur in weeks rather than extended amounts of time. To do this type of instruction, the general and special education teachers have to think about what skills the child is learning, or as we like to say, what to teach. In which activities, routines, or transitions is it most logical and appropriate to teach the skill? When to teach? Which instructional procedure to use, how to teach, and then how to monitor to see if teaching is implemented as planned and if the embedded instruction helps the child learn the new skill, how to evaluate. These tools for teachers address both specific goals in the IEP and early education instructional goals and breaks them into accessible parts, links them to child interest, and embeds them in routines such as circle time, outdoor play, learning centers, snack time, and transitions. Finally, early intervention supports teachers in linking the preschool foundations, which are our standards, to the desired results developmental profile, the assessment, and to use the results of that assessment to inform instruction. This loop of aligning standards to assessment and using assessment to inform instruction is an indicator of a high-quality program. The desired results developmental profile is a formative developmental assessment that is utilized by teachers to inform instruction and is sensitive to the abilities of all children, especially children with disabilities. It is utilized to measure child progress over time. The information collected about child outcomes for children with disabilities is reported to the Office of Special Education and is another state performance indicator. Additionally, the Desired Results Access Project is the lead agency for embedded instruction. The National Center for Pyramid Model Innovation curates free resources to promote social emotional learning and how to support children with challenging behaviors. There are modules, tip sheets, methods to collect data in order to track and understand patterns of behavior. In addition, we want to ensure that we're actively doing our Child Find activities, which is the process of identifying children who may be suspected of having a disability and in need of special education supports and services. You can contact your local special education local plan area, your SELPA, to seek support with ongoing Child Find activities. Transitions are critical to ensure families have the information and support needed for a successful school year. For children birth to 3 who are served through the Early Start program operated by the lead agency, the Department of Developmental Services, and transitioning those children to a preschool program requires building strong relationships between LEAs and regional centers. Local interagency agreements need to be robust and include the procedures to ensure timely transition conferences occur and that planning for steps and services to support the transition process for the child. But transitions don't stop there. There will be a greater need to support children and families who are transitioning from preschool to programs TK and beyond. Communicating with families the process for enrollment and having schools ready to receive our youngest learners will be critical in the upcoming years. Next slide. We all know that family engagement, according to the Division of Early Childhood, says that resources and supports that are provided in a family-centered manner will have child, parent, and family strengthening to enhance child outcomes. We know that families know their child best and have a wealth of information to share with us. And teachers have extensive knowledge about what academic and developmental activities would benefit the child to make the gains desired. It's the ultimate in collaboration. One positive outcome from working virtually that I've heard about from educators who provided instruction is that they really gain confidence in interacting with families in a way that had not previously been experienced during drop-off and pickup times. So let's keep that practice up. Family empowerment centers on disability provide parent support, resources, and promote inclusion statewide. The 14 family empowerment centers are operated through the Sacramento County Office of Education CESA Partnership Program, which provides avenues and tools to increase improvement of partnerships and professional learning resources that will assist LEAs seeking to improve their family engagement practices and educational outcomes that serve children with disabilities. So with that, I'd like to send it back to Heather to continue our conversation. Heather?
Thank you, Sheila. Give me 1 second.
I think it's the next slide.
And now it's time to hear from our esteemed partners. Let me introduce you to our moderator for our panelist discussion, Dr. Kristen Brooks, who is the Executive Director for the Supporting Inclusive Practices at the Riverside County Office of Education. Kristen has dedicated the past 24 years to the education and inclusive efforts of inclusion of students with and without disabilities, beginning as a speech language pathologist and subsequently transitioning to district and state level leadership. A true believer in having organizational systems recognize their self-imposed barriers while working to eliminate the same via transforming our culture, policies, and practices. Kristen works alongside teams across the entire state as the Executive Director of the Supporting Inclusive Practices Project. Kristen earned her master's degree in communication disorders and her doctorate of leadership for educational justice from the University of Redmond. Now I'll hand it over to you, Dr. Brooks, for our next portion.
Thank you so much for that introduction and for this opportunity to participate in the webinar and to moderate the discussion with our amazing panelists in just a moment. I just want to take a second to recap the information and guidance from our previous presenters. I just took some notes here, and we were reminded of California's aim to transform school communities into the inclusive and equitable spaces and systems we desperately need for our youngest learners, addressing the whole child. We heard about both the legal requirements of least restrictive environment and the moral imperative to do something better and different for our students, with California's downward trajectory if we continue with this status quo. There's been movement to support early education with legislation and funding and technical assistance projects supporting school communities at the local and state levels. And we know the benefits of early and inclusive education. So I have to ask Andretisha Fitzgerald's famous question, and she asks, does the data hurt enough to change? So I'll let that sit for a minute. Does the data hurt enough to change? And if it does, how do we realize the goals we have for our students? Because we know it isn't a child or a student readiness model. It's an adult and a systems readiness model. And we heard from our presenters earlier that our kids are ready and that California is primed for this change, for the intentional design or redesign, depending on the context. So with us today are 4 incredible educators and leaders in the field of early childhood, and I could not be more honored to share a bit about each one and moderate us through some questions to the end of our session today in order for them to share their experience and emphasis that inclusion isn't a thing, it's the thing. So with us today, I'll start with Carmen Hopkins. Carmen has spent more than 16 years committed to promoting inclusion, access, and equity for each student. Her beliefs are grounded in fostering safe, engaging, and positive learning environments that support the development of the whole child. Through policy, resources, and systems guidance, Ms. Hopkins works beside educational partners to ensure the personalized learning needs of all students are met. As the Director of Pupil Services for Romoland School District, she supports the Pupil Services Department and the Special Education Department, and also serves as an instructor in the Riverside County Office of Education Preliminary Teacher Preparation Program. Welcome, Carmen. Dr. Sue Singh. She serves as the Chief Executive Officer for Orange Unified SELPA and has advanced experience in enhancing equity and access for students through targeted interventions, piloting specialized programs, and improving programmatic outcomes in special education. Dr. Singh has led the creation and implementation of several programs that have received county and statewide acclaim. With a strong belief in inclusive practices and the potential and promise of all students, Dr. Singh is a champion educator. Kristen Sabillo. Integrating learning for over 25 years with Eureka City Schools, Kristen has served as a teacher, instructional coach, and currently principal of Alice Burney Elementary. As principal of Team Eagle, Kristen empowers teachers, students, and families to attain their potential through the implementation of solid instructional practices and love. Team Eagle has built a continuum of services and a culturally responsive learning community. A philosophy of continuous improvement drives Kristen's work. Welcome, Kristen. And finally, Michael Lopez Bro. Michael is an early childhood special education specialist for Los Angeles Unified School District. He and his team support a continuum of over 600 preschool programs throughout the district. With over 25 years of experience, he is committed to expanding inclusive learning environments for preschool children and families of LAUSD. So welcome to our panelists. I'm so excited to have this discussion with you all as we take our new learnings from earlier today and really apply them to practice and talk to the field about what's happening in your local context and how you've really moved the needle in early childhood education and inclusive education. So we have a few questions for our panelists today, and we'll let everyone take their time to share. So the first question that I have posed for you is, how have you built and sustained a successful inclusive program in your school, district, or community? And I'd like to start with Carmen, if you don't mind sharing, and then we'll just go around.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kristen. So it really starts with how most things in education start, building the right relationships with the right people. And that is getting everyone on board in the beginning that needs to be on board. For my circumstances, trying to build inclusive programs through our preschools, and that began with the early childhood education director and understanding the world of preschool better from the lens of compliance and obligation that preschool has, and how I can help partner to meet the obligations of both special ed and preschool for all students. And that also included a lot of conversations with my cabinet members, school board members, in addition to that, being able to share the messages of obligation throughout LCAP meetings, and then working with the preschool staff that were serving students together and showing them that it was a priority for me to be there in the trenches with them in those collaborative meetings in the beginning, coming up with solutions to some of the challenges both our worlds were facing, coming together for students. And it really was about building those relationships early on and ensuring that everyone that needed to be a part of those conversations was included as well, from not just a superintendent, but also an instructional aide in a classroom. And having those opportunities to really listen and hear what people's concerns were, and being able to help provide them with talking points and understanding as well, since some of the concepts of inclusive classrooms and the environments that we create to support our students with all of their personalized learning needs were easily communicated, because those were also the staff that were sharing the messages with parents and guardians that were trying to understand better the programs that their children were being served in. So relationships, that's what it really comes down to, and understanding who needs to be involved in the conversations early on.
And Michael, I know that that's a foundation of your work as well, is starting with relationships. So how have you built and sustained those programs?
Yeah, that's a big question. But I think I'd start off with, first and foremost, a great quote that we're all familiar with from Margaret Mead about never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And so let me give a little historical context to what that means to us in LAUSD. 28 years ago, we had a small group of early education center principals along with the early education leaders imagine the first inclusive programs. And this was over 28 years ago. My claim to fame 28 years ago was that I was the second preschool collaborative class, is what we called them, inclusive teacher. And through the years, I've been able to have different roles as a coach, a program specialist, and now a specialist supporting with a great team from early childhood special ed over 600 programs. And we're proud to say that we have over 180 of those programs that are inclusive programs. And so through the years, we've been building, we've been expanding, we've been looking for opportunities to be able to grow our inclusive programs. And the second part of those relationships, though, is really important. It's about the leadership that you have. And so I can honestly say that, as probably a lot of you know, LAUSD has a new superintendent, Alberto Calverio. He's got a 100-day plan. It's a robust plan, but it includes children with special needs. It includes early childhood education and expanding inclusive learning environments. And so the leadership above understands how important inclusion is. We have a division of special education that has a position statement now. And I'll just have to take a minute to share with you the vision of that position statement. It's entitled Equity and Access for Students with Disabilities, and the vision is clear: to be a progressive global leader in education, providing a dynamic and inspiring learning experience where all students graduate ready for success. We have our early childhood education division partners who like to say college begins in preschool. But our division also has been really good at developing tools and at developing PDs, at developing a website that has lots of general resources for anyone that is interested in promoting inclusive environments, because our district now is on the track to provide and expand inclusive environments from TK on up 12, and we have by next year over 100 sites that will have inclusive programs at their sites. So it's not only the relationships that we have built along the way, it's the leadership that matters, and it's the belief that they have in the importance of inclusive programs. And wouldn't be here right now without those, I guess what I'd like to say, boot on the ground program specialists and coaches and principals who actually have opened their doors and welcomed inclusive programs.
That's fantastic. You started small, or it seemed small, right? 28 years ago, maybe it was small back then, but LA is definitely not small now. You guys are doing amazing things. And Kristen, I know you are as well in your neck of the woods there up in Eureka City. And you've talked about the importance of building that team and moving that mission forward. So tell us a little bit about how you've built and sustained.
Totally agree, Kristen. And I echo what Carmen and Michael both said from that leadership perspective, that district perspective. I like to call it the groundswell. My instructional coach team would tell you that it's a groundswell, right? And what is a groundswell? It's saturating the environment so people see what it is. So at a site-based level, what that looks like is ensuring that all teachers are aware of general education and an SAI. So our SAI teachers teach in our general education classrooms. They would lead a guided reading group, for example. And so backward map from that means that I would have to train my SII teachers on general education curricula. Also, thinking that same idea of a groundswell, we had to change the way IEPs looked at a site-based level. I wanted my social worker, my EL teacher, I wanted every stakeholder at that IEP so that parents were understanding exactly what is an LPAC when a student is getting an accommodation. Wanted parents to be able to ask real questions to experts that would be there for them and show that it's a team that's approaching that student. Eureka City Schools, I am only one elementary. So I think that groundswell means that there's 4 elementaries and all 4 of us all share that common philosophy. So all 4 of the other elementary administrators and I share the same collaboration times. We look through the same lens in our professional development, and therefore we have a district-wide goal of inclusion. I think it also goes with partnerships. I will say Heather Richardson's out there. I know she is, but she was the director of our preschool. It was about she and I actually working together on a regular basis. So her preschool teachers coming to our school, our teachers going to her preschool. So a groundswell, what does it really look like? And then of course the details, the weeds, is you need a continuum of services spreadsheet, right? We need to know exactly what students are gonna learn, who are the students learning, where will they learn it, where will that be the best element for them to be served, and then how will we look and evaluate that data? So then there's a data wall. We have red, yellow, and green cards, and essentially students are progressing through that, and on those cards are dots. And there's dots for speech, dots for a different type of academic IEP. There are a dot for EL, a dot for social work, a dot for behavioral needs. And so therefore we can look at our data wall and know exactly which stakeholders are all participating and helping us in order to support that child's growth. So I would say it's definitely about relationships. As Carmen and Michael said, groundswell is about communicating. I probably spent a year talking about what all means all, and really having direct conversations with teachers, philosophy conversations, and ensuring that we had the ground to do this work. Because I think you all know we're at a very early stage of implementation, and I believe the work is hard. And you need stamina and you need perseverance, because it is the best work that you could be doing.
Could not agree more, Kristen. And I'm going to run with the groundswell. I'm going to use that. I'll give you credit, but I'm going to use that. So I love it. Thank you so much. I'm going to move us on to our second question, which I think everybody on the panel could be able to share about this one. What strategies have you used to support your teachers to embrace inclusion and utilize inclusive practices? So Sue, I'd like to start with you if you don't mind. What strategies have you used out in Orange?
Hey, sure. Thanks, Kristen. So in Orange, we operate using a 2-part equation. Relationships and data lead to improved outcomes. I think with that, embedding the why is the key factor. We're also dedicated to professional development and, of course, tremendously value our partnership with SIP, which has, and I truly believe it, has led to significantly enhanced practices for us as a SELPA. There has been heavy investment in staff capacity building. For example, we partnered with the Startwell Foundation for PTRYC. We use conscious discipline training, ages and stages. Also a heavy focus on eliminating exclusionary discipline practices and policies for our littles. After COVID, we encountered an increased need to respond to student behaviors, leading us to establish a very strong RBT and BSA model in our programming, which in essence is a behavior coaching model for staff operating under the I do, we do, you do model. Also, a learning and coaching model was instituted as the district committed fiduciary resources towards instructional coaches, inclusive education coaches, to support furthering our vision of inclusivity. In addition to that, I would like to emphasize the instructional walks. Instructional walks amongst our educators have become the norm within our culture, with educators learning from each other. And the instructional and inclusion coaching model allows for this building of collective educator efficacy. I would also like to point out county-wide collaboration and increasing awareness of best practices is critical for us. And I would like to go back to the LRE indicators mentioned by Heather and Kristen earlier in the presentation. I think, Kristen, it's important what you mentioned. It's both a moral imperative and a legal mandate, and thank you for reinforcing that. For us, there's an extremely strong commitment to data-driven practices, including clear LRE goals. Data is pulled and reviewed monthly as part of this action plan that we've developed, explaining the why behind the focus and emphasis. And since I think it's 2016 that we've consistently increased the percentage of students being served with more than 80% of their time educational day with their gen ed peers. The DRDP mentioned earlier in the presentation is used as a guide for reflective educator conversations. And I'll loop back to the video, which was shared earlier in the presentation by Sheila, that our commitment to inclusive practices is not limited to students with just mild to moderate disabilities, but also to make inclusive education a reality for all our students with significant cognitive disabilities as well. And with the help of, and I go back to you, Kristen, and our journey together with SIP, that we've been able to debunk some of the myths and misinformation surrounding the benefits of including students with the most significant disabilities with their typical peers. So I'll pass that on to.
No, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. And you're highlighting the data, the relationships, the teams, and those instructional walkthroughs. And you can't change what you don't acknowledge, right? So you have to see it, you own it, and then you make steps to change it. So you guys are doing amazing things, and you've been progressive in your rollout of inclusion. And I know, Carmen, you're doing the same in Romoland with that sort of progressive rollout. So what other strategies have you all used out there?
So in Romoland, we're a small but quickly growing district. And so we've had challenges, not just with the mindset of inclusive practices at the preschool level, but just the space and growing and capacity of being able to support our students in more programs as we grow as a district. And so we look at it from a really big picture, in the sense of knowing that our teachers are going to grow with that need as well, as we're serving more students with more unique needs, and really looking at that whole child perspective. And it's having time, very strategically planned time in a teacher's week and sometimes day for that collaboration to occur, because we have to really be transparent with ourselves and vulnerable on where our areas of growth are and our gaps of knowledge, and being able to work with the educators on what they're seeing through data and through student growth are areas of their own needs of growth and learning too professionally. One of the challenges we saw about 3 years ago into our journey was that our students had these really amazing opportunities for an inclusive classroom experience. But then when it was transition time to TK or Kinder, where we were going to go with that? Were we going to be able to provide those opportunities still? And so it allowed us, because of the, ability to really reflect on ourselves as educators and sit with teachers and staff, find those gaps, which for us in Romoland kind of centered at the time and around like behavior and mental health needs, and honestly, not just for students that were experiencing challenges that qualified them for special education. A lot of our students and families needed some of those evidence-based strategies to be implemented in order to support them in their growth and learning as well. And so taking a lot of that and being able to help trickle it up to teachers that were going to be supporting our students in the TK and Kinder settings, knowing like we already figured out the secrets to success for this child in a very inclusive environment. And we wanted to share that so that no one else had to recreate the wheel or learn by trial and error again. And, understanding too that a classroom in TK and kindergarten looks different staffing wise. So we did have to be strategic with what that looked like with providing supports, removing those barriers. And that meant, again, educating the teachers and staff in those classroom environments on how to best support and serve those students. And really listening to what they're saying, in the sense of, hearing lots of times, just hearing the challenges from our educators helped us better understand what the need was for professional growth. And so we were fortunate enough in Roma Land to take a behavior coach. We contracted with the BCBA, and we're like, we need to learn how to deal with behaviors, not just for students, with disabilities, but all students, as we see that even more so returning, from a pandemic, that it is a need far and wide. And so our staff became so confident, and they were becoming behavior experts, and they were able to then share with the TK and Kinder teachers a lot of those strategies. And it really was a gradual release model in the sense of what Sue was sharing, just sharing our expertise and knowledge, bringing in the experts to support our teachers, and not making them feel less than because they didn't have that knowledge. But how do we grow that? How do we plan time for you to collaborate? And then really sitting at the table with them. I spent a lot of FaceTime with the teachers and staff because they needed to see my partnership with early childhood was more than just a top-down approach, that I was there to hear what those concerns were and how we could help better improve their knowledge and understanding of students to better serve everyone, staff and students.
I appreciate that call out around the transition, right? It can't just stop in preschool. Like, we've done a great job, preschool, TK, inclusion looks amazing. I don't know what we're gonna do for kinder first and moving forward. So this is the P3 series, but that does not mean that inclusion stops at 3, right? We at 3rd grade, we're moving this forward, and like you said, it's building up that gradual release of responsibility and scaling it and moving it forward through the system so that kids can experience that inclusion throughout their journey, right? And Kristen, I know, connected to this question, one of the strategies that you employed was a care specialist. Maybe do you have some things you want to share about your care specialist as a strategy?
Absolutely. So Eureka City Schools has care specialists, so one at each elementary and one at each middle. A care specialist is another one of those acronyms for comprehensive approach to a responsive environment. So ultimately, this is an instructional coach that creates coaching cycles, just kind of what Carmen was talking about, building that capacity on an ongoing basis. We have a philosophy that professional development is not a drive-by. It needs to be ongoing, regularly, and directly in the classroom. So ultimately, a care specialist could be part of that coaching cycle, or the care specialist could take the class while a general education teacher and a educational specialist got a chance to work together, kind of in a feedback cycle approach. I think further is using our resources. So creating a partnership. Alice Burney partnered with Kevin Schaefer, the Director of Equity and Inclusive Practices, and he came during a professional development day, and we put it into teacher language. So we wrote a learning objective for our school. In Eureka City Schools, we use point, pack, and product. So the point essentially is our why. The path is how we will get there, and the product is the outcome we want. So essentially, we wrote our learning objective for implementing inclusive practices, and we can just check off that path of exactly the actions we've begun to do, and then we can measure whether the outcome looks the way we want. So I think ongoing coaching and then reaching out for the experts. I will say I'm so excited to actually be here today because I'm seeing those experts, right? I'm becoming part of that team. And I think it's crucial in doing this work is making the language common so that it's normalized. This is what we do.
Thank you. Absolutely. This is just the way we do business, right? It's not an initiative. It's not a thing. It's not the shiny object. This is just how we work, and it's part of our culture. Before we move on to question 3, Michael, did you want to share anything about your partnerships with your higher ed folks, or any other strategies?
Sure. Yeah. Some of the strategies that we use is definitely our partnerships with universities, with the Cal State system, with Cal State LA, with Cal State Indian Hills, with Northridge, UCS, USC, UCLA, Loyola Marymount. We have lots of partnerships with the universities around it. We have a partnership with Inclusion Matters that provides lots of PDs for us. Our program specialists and coaches, we're fortunate enough to have them that go out into our programs, and they've all been trained on what we try to do is build capacity with our teachers and their school sites. And they've all been trained on what's called sorry, I was just lost it there for her. So anyway, they've been trained in building capacity, in trying to make sure that they understand that we want to be able to enhance child's progress. We want to be able to communicate and improve our communication. We want to be able to, it's called the problem-solving framework, and we want to be able to enrich rituals of the school site and everything. So they've all been trained to go out to school sites to be able to work with teachers to do this at their own school. And of course, we've teamed up with CDE with the embedded instruction. We've teamed up with supporting inclusive practices that all our teachers have access to. And we're looking forward to training next year a whole lot of our preschool teachers and GE teachers with the new UTK program on inclusive practices.
Again, just amazing work in a very large, very large district. So excellent. So moving us on to our next question, we'll pivot here a bit. What changes have been made at the administrative or leadership level to support inclusion? We heard earlier how important, the leadership piece is. And so Sue, maybe you can talk a little bit about what that's looked like in Orange.
Sure. So I think building a culture, this big cultural piece of inclusion takes leadership from the core team. As special education cannot create a culture of inclusion in a vacuum. And for us, it started at the board and the superintendent level, going through formal process of strategic planning with the community members and all the educational partners, and committed leadership, envisioning and the shattering of the barriers and that have separated historically special education and general education, and then adopting board-approved guidelines and practices for inclusion, which is right at the onset of a student's educational journey at the pre-K level with us. And it included our adoption of core values, our commitment to inclusivity, which is embedded in the interview questions for all new hires. Trainings provided through Katie Novak, thank you, SIP, have been part and parcel of our onboarding. The other thing is the equity-based practices for staff is a non-negotiable. That has been an ongoing commitment. And all communication from the district and actions associated are centered around this vision and commitment to equity and access. We've also allocated a program coordinator assigned to the pre-K level, which has allowed for this consistent support of program development, parent involvement, collaboration, as well as professional development. And it has built this co-reliance and co-partnership between general education and special education partners acting in one accord to support all students. The other thing that has been key has been, we've been very intentional about our community awareness campaign. Currently, we have parents of typically developing students eagerly enrolling or getting on the preschool waiting list. So I know Peer Models was mentioned earlier, and that's exactly what we have going on at our SELPA. And going back to the LRE, we break down our data. This is done by the administration of the district office, broken down by each school site, along with those celebratory student success stories. That is part and parcel of our principal meetings. The goal is to show how our actions at the district office, through our actions, that we stand firm and committed to inclusivity and embracing all differences as gifts. And given that we have this, like you mentioned, Kristen, we've grown inclusive education one grade level at a time. Parents have been, in a sense, enculturated into the benefits of inclusive schooling from the earliest onset of their child's educational career and experience in the district. So that's been huge.
That's amazing. Yeah, you want that to be their first and lasting experience, right? And Carmen, how about for you at that? You've really led the charge as that leader. So what changes have been made at that admin or leadership level for you all?
Again, I think it goes back to being vulnerable and seeing where your areas of growth are, the gaps are, and really looking at that root cause of why you're experiencing some of the challenges with the expansion of more inclusive opportunities for students. And in Roma Land, for us, we saw that our preschool assessment team was so key in ensuring those opportunities right from the get-go. So we took department members and sat on those assessment teams and really taught, led, and guided and showed them how to really look for those opportunities more so. And that took a lot of time and energy away maybe from some other things that we were managing, but it allowed us to really ensure students were receiving those inclusive opportunities in the ways that they deserve to. And it's paid off in heaps and bounds for students, that one little change. Then also inviting our elementary school administrators to attend the preschool transition IEP meetings and develop those relationships with families early on. And also having kind of a heads up as an administrator of what some challenges might be for those students so that they can maybe match better with teacher placement and have mentors on campus, and really being proactive and prepared for when that student comes, to ensure that there's not going to be a step backwards as far as inclusive opportunities go. And then we saw that our preschool staff would really benefit from a deeper understanding of UDL and how to remove barriers for all students, honestly. And that was something that we got a lot of positive feedback on, and because we were able to see the results of giving focus to UDL training come very much through that doorway early on after training for students that were then enrolling with us in preschool who had no preschool experience. They were already prepared. They knew very early on what a student was going to need from that, and they were ready and prepared to try different methods of ensuring that those barriers were not ever going to set the student back. So those were, for us, some of those root causes we had to move forward with in order to make the growth that we wanted to make with expanding.
And like you said, a heavy lift, but worth it, right? Worth it. And once you start to see the fruits of your results and knowing that you're doing what's right for kids, it's pretty amazing work, right? It sort of validates what you've been doing and then motivates you to keep doing it more.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for that. So for our panelists, we have just a few more minutes left for our final question. And so that question is, what strategies have you found to be most effective for supporting child and family transitions across preschool through third grade? Maybe how are you engaging in the larger school parent community to empower families to understand the benefits of inclusion? So kind of a loaded question, but really looking at that as the series is titled, that P3 span. What's been sort of most effective? And Kristen, if it's okay, I'll start with you.
Yes, indeed, Kristen, although I'm looking forward to hearing Sue talk about the care package. But ultimately, use the summer. I realized that we had a little bit time before the summer, before school year started. So we created SOAR, Social, Emotional, and Academic Routine. So it's an acronym for that. And ultimately, we bring all of our littles, so TK and kinder students, all come here for the week before we come back to school. And they learn about academic routines. All of our teachers are also here, and we have a collaboration between the transitional preschool into our TK or our kinder, and ultimately all adults are there together that week. And then at the end of the week, our students bring the families in and they tour the families around the school. So then that's an opportunity for us to assess how well the students understand those academic routines. It also gives our team the opportunity to really design plans. We do a lot of reflection after those SOAR days and really look at how we might launch the school year. So it's really, that's an important partnership there. I launched a virtual book club with parents as well. So we had a book study and then we used a virtual platform. It wasn't as successful as I wanted to be, very transparently. We only had about 15, 20 parents end up coming. However, I think it could have a lot of power. And then partnering with the Boys and Girls Club. We have a very large group of our students that attend our Boys and Girls Club locally. So bringing those partners in and talking to them about the strategies we use with specific students. And then we bring our regional center into our student study team process so that they're actively involved with giving us the strategies that they're using or have used successfully with those students in that view of the child and the time that we're putting interventions and supports in so that we can see how reactive those interventions and supports are. So those would be things right off the bat, Kristen.
That's great. And Kristen, don't think that those 15 parents didn't know how special that time was, because you never know how deeply you reach those families. So don't give up, keep engaging, right? You build it, they will come.
It's absolutely true.
Sue, would you like to give your thoughts in just a couple minutes before we wrap up here?
Absolutely. I know we're running out of time. So I know that I can hear the excitement in Kristen's voice too. The transition from preschool to TK, kinder, it's an exciting time for our kiddos and their families, yet it's anxiety provoking. So that's why we have portfolio and care packages that are used to capture each student's journey at the preschool level, which is then shared with the elementary teams. Those strategies and supports that were successful for a student at the preschool program and may assist the student in their new classroom are shared and provided with the elementary teams with the goal of strengthening this transition process. And the care packages and portfolios contain skills information specific to each child, material sentence strips, picture cards, could be sensory items, behavior charts, anything that worked for the kiddo. And I think in addition to that, what is key and pivotal to the success has been the partnerships with our families and our elementary and preschool teams, doing the tours, visiting the kiddos in their environment to gain more information about the successful transition that is needed. And so important. Our families are honored through collaborative partnerships, which have led to improved student outcomes. And I think going back to Kristen's comment about regional centers, all the SELPAs in Orange County are completely committed to the regional center partnerships. And we meet with the regional center representatives on a frequent basis, just so that that interagency partnership piece is strengthened and with the ultimate goal of serving all our kiddos. So I'll turn back to you, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Sue. I love that. I think we all need care packages, dang it. We all need that, right? So I really want to thank all of our panelists today for sharing your journeys in your local context and making it real for folks who are on the line today. I wish I had done a tally of the number of times you all said we and team and relationship. It was never, well, I in charge of this did this and I did that. There's so much around, focusing on student and families and really wrapping our arms around the whole context of inclusion and equity. And it takes us all from both sides of the house, right? General education, special education, really everyone, facilities and budgeting and HR, the whole gamut. Everybody plays a part, plays a role through the system vertically and horizontally. And I'm so just inspired to hear that we are moving beyond acceptance and tolerance. Remember those words back in the day around students with disabilities? Well, we're accepting, we're more tolerant. We're now at the stage of value add and welcoming and embracing and realizing that we all contribute to these systems in such a positive way. And using the strategies that you all have shared and the teams that you have built and the innovative thinking and the really intentional design. You all talked about plans and following those plans and reevaluating those plans and marching forward. So I just really want to thank you all for sharing today. I know how busy you are. I want to thank the Department of Ed for putting this on for everyone and for allowing us to engage in this space. So I'll turn it back to Sarah.
Thank you so much. So as we close today, I want to be able to thank my team at CDE. We had both my team from the Opportunities for All branch as well as Special Education Division, Early Education Division, and our Technology Services Division who made this possible. Our two wonderful ASL interpreters who have to work especially fast to capture everything we say. all of you panelists. My team had a chat on the side and kept going, wow, this is filling my heart up. This is exactly what I needed to hear during this hard work. And Kristen, you are our amazing Mission Possible facilitator. So thank you so much for that partnership. We will end today with a little bit of reflections in closing that really focus on everyone belongs, and how Kristen said, this is not just, oh, let's move to we can have someone sit with us, but this truly is asset-based, and how much we all benefit from inclusion and everyone belonging together. So as you all walk away, we'll leave you with a few quotes that really capture, I think, the essence around the reality of making sure that our babies start off in inclusive early learning and care settings. They move into preschool programs that are fully inclusive, and then they move into TK and K and transition up through the system in these integrated settings that are fully inclusive of all. All of these should be inclusive educational experiences. So the biggest risk of not including a child with disabilities is that we limit everyone's potential as human beings. An inclusive, good quality education is a foundation for dynamic and equitable societies. That's what we need to continue building in California, and it will take all of us leaning in together to make this a full reality for all of our young children and students. So with that, we will leave you. We hope this also filled your heart and left you with some nuggets of ideas that you can implement as you move forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good rest of your Thursday, and work on inclusion. Thanks.